performance and saves on gas. Bigger, bolder, more refined than ever. Trax's roomy interior features a 60-40 split bench, providing seating for 5 or additional cargo space. On the road, Chevy's standard infotainment system with available Wi-Fi will keep you connected. Drive up for the day or make it a weekend. Sky Park offers camping options for overnight stays. Together, let's drive Chevy Trax. See it at your Southern California Chevy dealer.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer. Do you all expect great tasting water coming out of every faucet in your home? Well, we do, thanks to our Life Source whole house water filtration system. Clean, delicious water from every tap. It filters chlorine and contaminants, but leaves the essential minerals that we need to feel our best. Life Source. Change your water, change your life.
Call now and ask for the Dean Sharp special promo, Life Source Water, because your family deserves the best. Tonight, one of the most consequential elections ever, charting a new path for California and the nation. The votes have been cast and the results are coming in. From Southern California to Washington, D.C., from the swing states to the swing districts, the issues that matter to you most. This is your local election headquarters. You're watching KTLA's live coverage of Election Night 2024.
And good evening to you. I'm Mike Ullman.
And I'm Cher Calvin. It is election night in America. The polls have closed. The votes are being counted. And Americans across the country have their eyes on the swing states that will determine our next president.
We have team coverage throughout the night on the race for the White House and for our local races here at home. But first, at this hour in the race for 270, here is how the electoral map looks. We just heard AP calling the state of Georgia for the former president, which considerably narrows the path to victory for Kamala Harris.
And the mood is optimistic at Trump headquarters in West Palm Beach.
That is where Jackie Bang is standing by live. Good evening, Jackie.
Well, good evening, or it's morning over here, but good evening to you. Yes, when they first announced the potential for Georgia to be called, there was such a loud applause and loud cheering here. Unlike over at the Harris campaign, where people are leaving and apparently Harris will not be talking, tons and tons of people came into this cavernous exhibit hall. Like to show you, Mike, I don't know if you're able to get a big wide shot of it, but literally thousands of people have been standing for quite a long time waiting for Mr. Trump to show up. We keep hearing different messages about whether he has left Mar-a-Lago or not. It is a mere 4 miles away from here, but you have to consider all the security issues that are involved in it. So he will eventually get here, and he is expected to speak to his supporters, as he has mentioned a couple of times during the campaign. When he comes on election night, he is going to say he is the victor. Well, it's coming closer and closer to that being a reality. It is not set in stone just yet, but it is getting closer and closer. So that is what we're waiting for Mr. Trump to show up. We don't know how many family members will be with him. Obviously, his wife Melania will be there. He has 5 children, Don Jr., Eric, Ivanka, and I am forgetting one of them, Barron. It's been a long night, forgive me. He also has one surviving sister who possibly may be there. So it'll be interesting to see if his entire family will be joining him there. So we wait, and I'll think of her name in a minute. I apologize. Back to you.
Was it Tiffany? Yeah, Tiffany.
Yes, Thank you. Yes, yes.
I was counting with you, Jackie. Yeah, I know. There are a lot of kids, that's for sure. And of course, it may take hours, Jackie, thank you, if not days before we find out who won the White House.
AP just calling the state of Georgia for the former president. Samantha Cortese is here with a closer look at where each candidate stands and that path becoming more narrow for the vice president.
Yes, and as the AP says, it's less forgiving, which is a kind way of saying there is not a wide path to 270 for the vice president. And we understand she will not be speaking tonight at her campaign party in D.C. We understand that people are leaving because they were just told that she would not be addressing the crowd there. Harris cannot lose Pennsylvania to reach 270. This is the AP where we currently stand. Former President Trump at 247 electoral votes, Vice President Harris at 210. Now let's look at the prediction map. Like we mentioned, Vice President Harris cannot lose Pennsylvania to win this election because this is what happens. Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan. If those all go to the vice president and she does not have Pennsylvania, she's 2 electoral votes short of the presidency. Now let's clear that and see what happens. If she does win Pennsylvania, she'll have to win Michigan and Wisconsin as well to get to 270. Now let's see if the former president gets Pennsylvania, and there you go. Just takes Pennsylvania at this point because, as we said, they just called Georgia. But if he does not, let's see, Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, done. Arizona, Nevada, Michigan, done. So as we mentioned, the path has narrowed. They say at the Associated Press this evening it is becoming less forgiving. Micah and Cheryl, a lot of people watching. And if former President Trump takes Pennsylvania, these late votes out in Arizona and Nevada may not matter. Over to you.
Sam, continue to watch it for us as supporters of Vice President Kamala Harris had been gathering at Howard University all night, hoping to see Harris speak.
Well, her co-chair, Cedric Richmond, spoke out a short time ago, urging voters to remain positive. Our John Finolio is there live in Washington, D.C. with the mood there now. John.
Well, Sharon, Mike, I can tell you there's not much of a mood because there's not much of a crowd any longer. As soon as campaign co-chair Cedric Richmond took the stage and gave very brief remarks, the crowd basically emptied out. There were thousands of people here, anywhere 10,000, 20,000 people here. But I can tell you that as the night wore on, people, as they became more anxious, watching the electoral math favor former President Donald Trump, people started thinning. This crowd started thinning. People started leaving. I can tell you, I saw them leaving. I left our press location and went and watched the area where the Secret Service and police are essentially telling people to exit. And there were throngs of people leaving as the night wore on. And you can't blame a lot of these folks. People have been out here on their feet for 8 hours waiting to hear from Vice President Kamala Harris. But in the end, Harris did not speak, and it was co-chair Cedric Richmond. Have a listen to what he had to say just a few moments ago.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing in the promise of America. We still have votes to count. We still have states that have not been called yet. We will continue overnight to fight to make sure that every vote is counted, that every voice has spoken. So you won't hear from the Vice President tonight, but you will hear from her tomorrow. She will be back here tomorrow to address not only the HU family, not only to address her supporters, but to address the nation. So thank you. We believe in you. May God bless you.